All right, folks, how we doing today? This will be like a late night podcast here. I tell you what, this is where being a player, okay, or maybe being that part-time lover, all right, or lusting could lead you to, all right. What it could do is it can either lead you either in the wrong place, it can get you hurt, it can get you killed, all right. Let's go on and get it right into it. So, and actually, this is an article that's been out. I just thought I'd put my 2 cents in it. This happened in my hometown. Actually, I grew up on the other side of the channel in Hampton, Norfolk, Virginia. All right, shout out to the 757. Okay. 26-year-old Tyler Jenkins. He was in the Navy. He was 8-year soldier. I'm not soldier, but sailor. Okay. And shot and killed another Navy sailor, Tim Talley III. Okay. But this young man was not stationed in that area. He was stationed on another base. All right. Apparently, Jenkins, his wife, was having an affair with this other man. Jenkins had walked in on his wife and this other guy, all right, making out in his bed, in his home. And he got his gun out, shot Tally, all right. And I think he got mad and shot his wife, but, he missed. I don't think that he had intentions of killing his wife, all right. And he was booked. I guess he told the police, this is Jenkins, said, what did I do for catching a man in my house or whatever, okay? The house that I paid for. And he's going to be charged on gun charges and second-degree murder. More than likely, all right, he's going to be put out of the Navy, all right? I'm about 99.9% sure of that. Okay? Let me tell you something. I've been in the Army for 13 years, all right? I got out about 14 years ago, seeing all kinds of crazy stuff like that happen. Number one. Number two, I grew up over there in that area, okay? That's just a drop in the bucket. They got people of all ages, all kinds of rank. They had admirals, commanders, killing their wives, doing things like committing suicide and stuff like that. There was a couple of admirals I know when I lived out in that area growing up, they killed themselves or whatever, committed suicide. Admirals, all right? These are guys that, commanded the base. I got a homie out there that he did a couple of years in the Air Force as a bail bondsman out there, okay? It mentioned so many incidents with domestic violence out there in that area, okay? Because that doesn't just happen over there in the Navy base, but it happens in the Marines. They have also Marines base, a couple of Army bases, and the Air Force over there on the side that I grew up in Hampton, Newport News, all right, that he deals with, okay? So many of them, all right? It's not the first, it's not going to be last, especially, let's just say, on deployments or when those guys get back off ship, okay? I understand, all right? I understand the point that, that he has to maintain his honor and his dignity and so forth. I do. And maybe there was a time that, let's say in biblical days, if you caught your wife, cheating, Jenkins had the authority back then to stone both of them to death. But we live in modern times or whatever, okay? And, hey, I understand, especially that man's working hard, bringing back home the bacon. I don't know if this man got back from deployment or what. So, the stress level is going to be very, very high. But it's one of the things, I guess he didn't think about his future, all right? It's one of the things where, hey, you can't make nobody be with you. They don't want to be with you. But the fact of the matter is that there were going to be, even though it's a cardinal offense, with cardinal consequences. I guess he wasn't thinking that. I think with the second-degree murder, they're probably going to consider a crime of passion, and I'm thinking he may get 10 or 15 years, but he pretty much ruined his career over that, and also the VA benefits and so forth. Okay, it's a really bad thing there. You know, I mean, I get it. In the military, and I said this before in that case out there in North Carolina about the guy killing his wife was pregnant. You could look back at that, but that life is not easy, you know. And I just think if you don't have the Most High in those marriages and so forth, all right, then they're not gonna make it. You know, trying to be deployed, and guys are on the road or deployed and so forth on ship and you know. But there's so many incidents like that I can tell you about, and you really have to think that it's really not worth it. All right, especially in this day and age with these campaigns that are going on right now. A dishonorable discharge is going to be, so you're going to be severely discriminated. Before I leave, I want to just say one thing. I can remember when I was in Iraq. This was 2003, where I was stationed in Georgia at the time, and my father was terminally ill. This was in 2003 when it started, and I made it back home. I got a Red Cross message, but I made it back home. He was still alive, and I talked to him for maybe like 2 hours when I flew back to Virginia. And I said I had a lot going on in my mind. I called my mom and said, I'm gonna go out for a little bit. They got a spot out there called the Alley. Back then, it's still open. It was a Saturday night too. It was so packed, because pretty much all the guys were deployed, and there were so many women over there or whatever. They were like dancing like it was 1999. All right, singing that Bombs Over Baghdad. That's when what's the name? With Big Boy and the other guy, Dre, was hot back in the day, Outkast. And I had a homie that I went to school to play basketball with, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and, I had, chopped it up with a few people in there that were married, a lot of those women. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I said, when them guys get back, beat down city, So this stuff like this happens regularly out there in that area, and the domestic violence is high and so forth. But these are things that you want to think about, men, especially you soldiers or veterans, when you come back or whatever, And I just say like this: if things get heated, you may want to walk away, be the better person, maybe go check in the room, figure out other ways to deal with incidents like this or domestic violence. I'm telling you though, okay, because they don't really, I hate to say to say it like this, but they don't want to restrain her, okay? They want to restrain you, especially if you look like me. Remember that, all right? You have to look at your future, and there's always somebody, man, that you'll have somebody lined up or whatever if things don't work out. All right, let me know what you think about the video, and then if you have kids, think about your kids, okay? Because they're going to need their father. Despite if things don't work out, your children are always going to be something that you leave behind to say that is yours. Okay, just think about that. Let me know what you think about the video. All right, peace.